Welcome back to our next indie horror game, FM. Alright. What do we got? Waking up in an empty closet in a pool of blood. Always a good start. Fairly normal looking living room here. Nope.
We are very disturbed this evening to report the apparent murder-suicide of a wife and her 2 children supposedly by their husband and father. The 42-year-old man seemingly shot his pregnant spouse once in the stomach before taking his own life. Neither of the children suffered from gunshot wounds, but were severely beaten, both found with fractured skulls and several broken bones. Stay tuned for further details as police are still investigating the area and attempting to find a motive for this horrific event.
Damn. Dude beat his children to death, shot his pregnant wife in the stomach, and then blew his brains out. Good lord. I mean, at least he took himself out, but you could have just led with that and, you know, not slaughtered your family. Oh.
We apologize for the abrupt interruption and currently have a caller waiting that wishes to speak on this gruesome incident.
Somebody is doing some real deep breathing exercises down there, and the light switch is gone. Oh god. Oh Jesus, here we go. Here it comes. Anytime. No? Well, we didn't get eaten. On the downside, the hallway disappeared. Oh boy. And we're in a morgue. How did we get in a morgue? Okay. Alright. Hold right click to zoom in on certain objects. Examine this radio.
The crime was first reported by a neighbor, who said she was walking her dog when she heard 2 gunshots from the interior of the home.
Listen closely to the radio. At certain points in time, you must examine objects in your surroundings that correlate to the story being told in order to proceed. Once you have regained control after interacting with said objects, a sound cue will play that also relates to the story. This has no correlation to the next solution in the room. So, the progression mechanics are related to something that's in the radio messages each time.
The crime was first reported by a neighbor, who said she was walking her dog when she heard 2 gunshots from the interior of the home.
Lady heard gunshots while walking her dog. Okay. There's blood. Blood on this morgue drawer here. Is this it? Nope.
The crime was first reported by a neighbor, who said she was walking her dog when she heard 2 gunshots from the interior of the home.
Jar, brain, jar. Hey, it's a dog picture. Is that it? Yeah! There we go. Damn. Oh shit.
After calling the police, she then went to investigate the commotion and discovered the bodies after receiving no answer at the door. I simply cannot imagine the weight she must feel after discovering such a horrific event so close to her home.
So she knocked on the door and nobody answered. Same thing that just happened here. No.
After calling the police, she then went to investigate the commotion and discovered the bodies after receiving no answer at the door. I simply cannot imagine the weight she must feel after discovering such a horrific event so close to her home.
Oh, I get it. He really stressed the word weight in that message, and there's a... Is it the scale? Is it the scale? Hell yes! I is good at this shit. Okay, gotcha. Oh.
She described the scene in gross detail, stating that the family bathroom had so much blood on its walls and floor that the drain had been clogged.
Oh, that's an easy one. That's gonna be the blood on the floor over here by the drain hole. Yep.
One of the bodies present in the bathroom was the family's 11-year-old daughter, who was the third and final victim to be identified as dead at the scene.
Stress the word dead. And there's probably this more drawer of blood on it. Yep.
Help! Help! Help!
And we're back in the closet. That looked like a woman.
Push that dial now. We've got many more callers and details yet to come on this thrilling story.
See? The clues are in the words that he emphasizes. He said caller's weird, and now the phone is ringing. Really gotta listen to the way the radio guy says shit.
father was said to be a heavy drinker by friends and family, and would often cause commotion late at night once returning home. He worked as a construction foreman and would frequently visit the local bar with coworkers once their shifts were over. He kept his signature hunting rifle in a locked cabinet at the end of the hallway, the same place that he stored his alcohol. No one was allowed near the cabinet and would be severely punished if found tampering with it.
Yeah, keep a loaded rifle in the same cabinet with your booze. Smart move, shithead. Now the rifle's in here.
The only safe place to be once the father started drinking was anywhere hidden in the dark. The children told stories to their grandparents about entire nights spent in the closet or under their beds attempting to avoid any harm.
Jesus. I mean, the only upside to people like this piece of shit is that they kill themselves when they're done, so that we don't have to waste tax dollars and prison space on them. But just kill your fucking self. Don't murder your family on your way out. What? Fucking blood everywhere.
The grandparents said they were fearful of the wife and children's futures after so many episodes of domestic abuse. They described one incident in particular in which the mother suffered from a traumatic head injury that sent her to the hospital. The father vowed never to drink again after the mother's hospitalization, but was reportedly seen at his regular bar only days later.
Of course he was. The hell? That's... Oh shit, that's... Whatever that is, it's walking toward that door right there. Yep.
That door won't hold for long.
I'm gonna take that as my cue to exit stage left. And now we're in a school. The hell?
On the day of the crime, the father checked out both of his children early from school around noon. Those in the main office at the time described him as eerily anxious as the three quickly rushed out of the building.
Guess we're looking for clocks because he stressed the time there. Must be more than one.
On the day of the crime, the father checked out both of his children early from school around noon. Those in the main office at the time described him as eerily anxious as the three quickly rushed out of the building.
There it is. That wasn't it? Was there another one? The hell? Oh no, there's another one down there at the end of the hallway. Okay.
On the day of the crime, the father checked out both of his children early from school around noon. Those in the main office at the time described him as eerily anxious. When called to the front office, both of the children's moods quickly shifted to that of pure dread. Their teachers asked them to gather their books, among other belongings, which they did at the
slowest fucking pace possible,
interrupting the small school of typically only 9 students per classroom. When called to the front office, both of the children's moods quickly shifted to that of pure dread. Their teachers asked them to gather their books, among other belongings, which they did at the
slowest fucking pace possible,
interrupting the small school of typically only 9 students per classroom. When called to the front office, both of the children's moods quickly shifted to that of pure dread. Their teachers asked them to gather their books, among other belongings, which they did at the
slowest fucking pace possible,
interrupting the small school of typically only 9 students per classroom.
I don't see any more bugs.
When called to the front office, both of the children's moods quickly shifted to that of pure dread. Their teachers asked them to gather their books, among other belongings, which they did at the
slowest fucking pace possible,
interrupting the small school of typically only 9 students per classroom.
I'm missing a book here somewhere, because that's what we're looking for, but
When called to the front office, both of the children's moods quickly shifted to that of pure dread. The teachers asked them to gather their books, among other belongings, which they did at the
Slowest fucking pace possible.
interrupting the small school of typically only 9 students per classroom. When called to the front office, both of the children's moods quickly shifted to that of pure dread. The teachers asked them to gather their books,
Oh, wait.
among other belongings, which they did at the
Slowest fucking pace possible.
interrupting the small school of typically only 9 students per classroom.
There's another one. There we go.
Assigned to opposite rooms from one another, the children also differed greatly in personality. The daughter strived for greatness, her favorite subject being geography, and has always been at the top of her class. The son, on the other hand, was deservedly punished for his actions, often getting sent to time out for acting up.
No matter how far away you get, they will always be with you. The hell does that mean?
Assigned to opposite rooms from one another, the children also differed greatly in personality. The daughter strived for greatness, her favorite subject being geography, and has always been at the top of her class. The son, on the other hand, was deservedly punished for his actions, often getting...
Yeah. They sent him out in the hallway because he was a brat. Okay. Gotcha. No matter how hard you try, you'll end up just like your father.
Most days, it seemed like the only safe space for the young man was inside his own locker. If he wasn't getting beaten at home by his
Father,
the children at school would
do it instead.
That was definitely a woman. Huh.
She loved her children more than anything in the world, emotions that were quickly changed after the little incident. Once returning from the hospital, she couldn't bear to look upon their faces. All she could see was her husband in their eyes.
Oh boy, the hallway's upside down.
She feared these same emotions would linger once the new member of the family arrived.
Something
Had to change. all of the voices bottled inside of her were finally unleashed. No more abuse. No more
Suffering.
No more.
Family.
These children, including the one inside of her, would become just like him, and she feared for her life. They deserve a better existence. They deserve a fresh start. None of this was their fault. She finally made up her mind. Her plan for freedom. Do you know what the funniest part of it all is?
It didn't work.
Such a happy family. It's quite strange how almost everyone looks normal from an outside perspective until you pull back the curtain and find a story such as this. It breaks my heart to report these things to the public day in and day out, but it's the reality of our current culture. People eat it up. They love wallowing in the misfortune of others. The mother in tonight's headlining tragedy is another victim for these leeches to feed on, further fueling the growing decay of society. I often struggle with myself, finding that I am a large portion of the problem at hand. Just like her, I am a
Goddamn parasite.
that has infected your mind. No matter where you go or what you do, you can never get rid of us. It's quite ironic when you think about it all, really. The very place that festered her emotions is what currently shackles you now. Her mind had been warped, damaged by those she loved most. Once she had time alone to think and heal, the
Absolute darkness.
inside of her grew exponentially. She was found dead in the hallway, floating in a pool of blood once the paramedics arrived. The unborn child, still within her, was instantly killed when the bullet entered her stomach. Strangely enough, she was found with scratch marks on both of her arms as well as severe cuts on her right hand. The father dropped his children off at home before packing his bags for another impromptu hunting trip, abandoning the family for yet
Another
weekend. He was found lying in the living room, dead with his head split open from the bottom, rifle still in hand. Pieces of a shattered vase were scattered around him with his left cheek adorned with a massive wound. The two children laid in their beds, unsure of what to do, as the mother beckoned for the daughter's help with something in the living room. The two children laid in their beds, unsure of what to do, as the mother beckoned for the daughter's help with something in the living room. The daughter was found dead in the bathroom, head smashed against the tub. The son, on the other hand, would fall victim to a fate
Much worse than death.
this shit again. I think it's about time to change the channel. I think you know what needs to be done.
Let go.
The son went to investigate the commotion in the living room. But he couldn't get there in time.
Well then, it wasn't the father at all. It was the mother. Her husband was such a piece of shit that she saw him and her children every time she looked at them, so she decided to kill them all. So she beat her children to death, blew her husband's head off, and then shot herself in the stomach, killing herself and her baby. But then the son, who I assume was us, got trapped in some sort of purgatory loop. Explains the son suffers a fate much worse than death, like the announcer said. That was pretty good. Not the best looping hallway game I've ever played. Not the worst one either. Still better than Implements of Hell. That game was... I mean, it wasn't shit, but it wasn't a great example of this mechanic type either. Well, for what it's worth, there it is. That's FM. The link is in the description if you want to play that for yourself. Thank you for watching. I hope you got some enjoyment out of that. We'll see you in the next video.